How's it going, everybody? My name is Jeff, and today I'm actually going to be doing a kind of a breakdown and demonstration of Iron Man deck that I built. So with this deck, actually was inspired by it on the Marvel CBD site. It was actually from this deck that was called Iron Man Perfected 2.0. And the author of that deck was Miguel Cantillo 3. So kudos to you for putting this together because I actually had a lot of I haven't played a lot of games with Iron Man. So going into this, I actually felt like I was Iron Man when I was playing that deck build because he based it mostly on stacking your the deck with a lot of tech cards, and a lot of the resources are energy, and what feeds the energy resources, well, his repulsor blast. Because when you play the repulsor blast, you're going to be dealing one damage, and then when you discard your five cards, you're going to be doing two damage per energy that gets revealed. So if you have your deck, and it's all basic, mathematics. If you have a deck that's got a lot of electric in it, you're going to have a higher probability of pumping out a lot of damage. And I thought that was a cool concept because that's totally Iron Man, right? That's fun. Um, that being said, also he benefits from tech cards because his hand size only goes up for every tech card that's in play. So I kept the same concept with that, but I wanted to kind of throw some kind of new spice to it. So here's what I was thinking with it. And I named my deck called This Is What I Think About When I'm at Work. So I had this idea where I like to try and incorporate some cards. One is this special little card called the Pericles. Now this is a very expensive card. It's 6 costs, right? But that's really not a problem for Anthony Stark, right? Because basically if you get this card in your opening hand, you pretty much are going to be able to play it, and it's an action, so you don't have to be in hero form to use it. You could actually just throw a confusion, depending on what type of villain you're fighting, you could throw a confusion on the villain, give yourself a tough, and then you know try another, wait one more turn before to try and dig out your key cards, because obviously in the opening hand with Iron Man, we want our arc reactor. This is going to give us a ready. That's probably next to having allies. Readying up is extremely powerful, especially with Iron Man because he's already a top thwarter. Already got a two thwart. So if you can stall out the villain for like two more turns, even if you have to use it two more times, depending on what type of scenario you're playing, if it's got a lot of threat where you're going to have to make the move. But if you can get these cards out in the beginning, you're going to be fine. His futuristic ability is going to give you another card, so you're gonna say if you start with this card, you're going to be able to hit futuristic, draw 3 cards. You're going to have 7. So that's my whole mindset with that. And even if you can't make this a top priority in the beginning of the game, which you shouldn't have to, these should be the priority, I feel. But because one, they're text, they're going to build up your hand size. But even when you flip into Iron Man, then you're probably not going to be going back down to Alter Ego anyways, unless something went south and you had to either recover some health or whatever. But if you have the maximum number of tech on the table, you're going to be drawing 7 cards. So you can also combo that with having Pepper Pops. Maybe you play one of your double resources. If you strategically play it where the way you discard it, you could potentially get another use out of a double in your discard pile to get more stuff out. So that was kind of the one of the routes I was going to with the Pericles. The other thing I did add to it, and I kind of made I kind of like the whole concept of trying to like have um usage of these of two allies, and they're both X-Men allies. So actually, I have three X-Men allies. I'm sorry. Where is it? You see, I'm not organized. All right, so the first one I wanted to incorporate into this is Northstar. Why? Well, because he's basically a Defiance, and he's an energy resource. So it works because even if I can't get him out and we want to do a repulsor blast, I know I'm gonna get 2 damage with him. But if we get Northstar on the table and put in protective training on him, he's gonna have 3 additional hit points. So to me, if I'm not using him for thwarting or attacking, I just want him on the table. I want him on the table. I want protective training on the table. So that's 2 cards that won't be in my deck, even though Iron Man will go through his deck pretty quickly, especially if you are repulsor blasting. But now I have 6 uses where I can kill the villain's boost card. Because all I gotta do is it's an interrupt. When a boost card is turned face up during an attack, deal 1 damage to Northstar, cancel all the boost icons on that card. That's amazing. That's 6 turns where I don't have to worry about a boost card that's gonna hurt me. Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to use with this would be Gambit. Why? Gambit's an energy resource. Gambit also can basically look at the top 3 cards of the villain's encounter deck, and he can tuck one of those underneath them. So if there's like a really, really nasty card that I don't want in the game, Gambit's going to take care of that for me. And then if I want, I don't have to use Gambit. I could use him for 2 uses and hold on to that bad card for the rest of the game. Something like, Shadows of the Past, some stuff like that, an advance, anything that's really nasty. And then the other little thing I was thinking was how fun would it be if I use Nightcrawler to defend Tony and not take damage. Well, Nightcrawler, it says on the card clearly, interrupt when an X-Men character would take any amount of damage from an enabled attack. You can spend an energy resource and return Nightcrawler to your hand to prevent all damage. You're correct. But if I'm keeping these 2 on the table, one of these 2 at least, because I still kept Northstar in there also. So if I wanted to keep one spot open so I could still have Northstar for a play, I would. But one of these 2 on the table, it works. Because what's going to happen is I get attacked, right? Well, I'm going to defend with Northstar. So now, boost card flips up. Some damage is going to happen. Maybe it's a lot of damage, and I don't want Northstar to die. Well, I can then spend an energy resource, which I'll have a lot of in my deck, return Nightcrawler to my hand, all the damage is prevented. And we would put a Quinn Carrier in our deck to feed that energy resource, kind of like how you would if you had like the X-Jet. So that's pretty much kind of like where my brain was going with it. It looked good on paper. I'll definitely have a link set onto this, of the list on there. But real quickly, I'll just go through the cards so you can see it. So obviously we're playing a Gambit. We're gonna play a Northstar. We're gonna play a Nightcrawler. And we also play our other ally, Nova. We're gonna throw in a Quinn Carrier. Pericles, and Ingenuity, Endurance, because health is good and it's also an energy resource. I threw this in here. I don't plan on ever using him. It's just there for energy. and then I changed, and my list it says 2, but I actually dropped this down to 1 because I didn't want to clunk it with other resources. So I only put 1 protective training in the deck. I changed it. I didn't update it. And then we have our regular resources because money is good. And then we do 2 copies of power protection. And then we're going to do 3 copies of plasma pistol. We're going to do 3 copies of repurpose because it's amazing. We do 3 copies of force field generator. And then we're going to do 3 copies of energy barrier. And then electrostatic armor for a very cheap tech item. So if we needed to get our hand size up quicker. And then I put in 1 copy of first aid. This would be to, maybe in a pinch I need to heal, I can't drop down, or, heal North Star to keep them on the table longer. But yeah, that is so that's my build. I'm going to get a villain all set up, and then I'm going to test it out and see if I can demonstrate some gameplay on it. So I will see you when I get that all set up. I'll be right back. All right, so I got everything set up here. So I'm going to test this out on Claw Expert 2. So real quickly, let's get everything revealed out here. So the underground distribution scheme 1A, we search the encounter deck for our defense network inside scheme, and we reveal it. Then we shuffle the encounter deck and advance to stage 1B. So we already did that. So this comes into play with 2 threat plus 1 threat per player, so that's going to be 3. So I grab 9 little tokens. It has a crisis icon, so I can't remove any threat out the main. Next, we'll advance to stage 2B. Oh, wait. Wrong one. 1A. I am not awake, apparently. Yeah. So then we go to 1B, and then 1B, when revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded, and put that minion in play engaged with the first player. So, counter deck's over here. I did shuffle it a couple of times already, so just so you can see that I didn't load the deck. And we'll discard. Sound Manipulation, Exhaustion, Master Mayhem, Claw's Vengeance, and we're going to get a Whirlwind. So that will be engaged with us. And then we reveal Claw. He comes in with 18 health, but when revealed, we search the encounter deck and discard power from the Immortal Claw, and then reveal it, and then shuffle the encounter deck. So that's going into play automatically. I didn't think it would have mattered because it would have been here anyway. So that does get 3 threat on it, and the Immortal Claw increases Claw's hit points by 10. So now currently he's at 28 health. I probably should have had this shuffled in automatically. Whoops. It's not paying attention. All right, so that's done, and then we'll go ahead and draw to our Tony gets 9 health. Tony will draw to hand size 6. Looking for a reactor. All right, so we have a Genius, we have a Pepper Potts, we have Useless. We also have Nightcrawler. So we also have a force field generator, which also would. Oh, man. All right. I'm gonna keep these 2. We need some tech. Power protection. Pericles. Energy. Endurance. So now there's that situation I was talking about. So right now, I could get this out easily, and I can confuse Claw, get myself a tough, and stay down for one more turn. We're gonna activate Tony's futurist ability. Oh, I don't have my little whatchamacallit. Oh, well, that's not cool. There it is. So we'll activate Tony's futurist ability. It's an action. We look at the top 3 cards of our deck, add 1 to your hand, and then discard the others. So we got our helmet. Okay, so no brainer, we're taking the helmet. Because we need tech. So this will help with thwarting. So I think what I'll do is I'm not even gonna worry about the endurance. We're gonna play Genius and Endurance, and we're going to put in Pepper Potts. And then we're going to exhaust Pepper Potts to generate the top resources on the discard pile, which is the Genius. So that's 2, and then 4, and then 6, and then we have the Pericles out. Money well spent. This comes into play with 2 counters. So what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to remove 1 off of the Pericles, and we're going to exhaust it. And we're going to give the villain a status card of our choice, and give an ally or a minion a status card of your choice. So we'll go ahead and where? No. So we're going to confuse Claw. And then we're going to give a minion a status card of our choice, which we're also going to give them confusion also. And then we're going to hold on to our Mark 5 helmet. And we will end our turn there. So now keep in mind too, I'm going to get a new hand. And I got another double resources sitting here for me. So I have money. Screw the rules. So we're going to drop to a hand size of 6. Another double. I shuffled this deck. There's our reactor. That's what we need. There's North Star. And cheap tech. Cool. Alright, cool. So, villain's turn. So 2 threat is going to go onto the main. Claw's not going to activate because he's confused. And then Whirlwind is not going to activate because he's confused. And we'll get in a counter card, and it's going to be Assault. This will be a Surge. And he's going to advance. So that's the luck of the cards, I guess. So he's going to scheme for 2, and then Weapons Runner comes into play. So we got lucky on that one. So now the main's only at 4. All right. And that will end the villain's turn. So now it's the start of our turn. All right, so first things first, we're going to exhaust Pepper Potts, and we're going to use her to generate the 2 resources on the top of my discard pile, which is the energy. We're going to go ahead and put in our Arc Reactor, because we like the ready. And then we're going to play... We're going to go ahead and do a double resource. And we're going to put in our plasma pistol, which is also tech. That's good for us. Comes into play with two or three counters. And then we're going to use the electrostatic armor. And we're going to put in our Mark V helmet. All right, so now we're going to flip. Oh shit! You know, I should do the futuristic ability. I forgot to do that first. Crap. I'll just do it now, I guess. Okay, so you know what? That was a misplay on my part. I should have did that first. I probably would have done things a little. I would have been able to get all those tech pieces out. All right. So at that point, I don't want the first. Man, I don't want the scheme to pop yet. So I'm gonna flip into hero. I'm gonna exhaust my Mark V helmets. I'm gonna remove one throw off the scheme, and then I'm gonna go ahead and thwart two off of defense network, so we can get that cleared up. And then we're gonna use our reactor to ready back up, and then we're gonna thwart two off the main. This is gone. And we'll go ahead and exhaust that. Let's remove a counter on here, and let's put 1 damage on Whirlwind. And I'm gonna just go ahead and hold on. So we can only have a hand size of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm probably gonna toss Gambit, hold on to North Star. So I'll only get 3 draws out of that. So 1, useless. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 4 in my hand. And repurpose. Okay. Alright, so put 2 threat on the main. Claw's going to attack. It's going to go ahead and take it. So he's going to hit me for 1 and 2 boost cards. So first boost card is an advance. And 2, so he hits me for 3. So now both advances are in the discard pile, so that's pretty sweet. 1, 2, 3. So we're down to 6. Whirlwind's going to attack. Force interrupt. Okay, so it's just when Whirlwind attacks, you resolve this attack against each other hero. Well, there's no other hero, so I don't have to worry about that. So 2 damage, and then 1 damage from weapons runner. So we're down to 3. And then we'll get a encounter card, and we have a Tiger Shark. It's stacked up here. All right, and that will end the villain's turn. So, what do we do? Probably. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to exhaust the Mark V, remove one of those off, thwart 2, get the Immortal Claw out of here, so we get rid of that acceleration. I'll drop them down to 18. We're going to ready up with our reactor. Actually, no, we're not going to ready up yet. We're going to use our plasma pistol. We're going to remove 1. We're going to do another damage to Whirlwind. And then we are going to repurpose. We're going to get rid of our pistol. So we're going to take the 2 cost and we are going to add it to our attack. Actually, we should probably add it to our thwart. Yeah, we'll add it to our thwart. Well, no, because we gotta get rid of the... Yeah, we are. Thwart. So now I'll have a thwart of 4, and I get to ready up. And we will go ahead and thwart 4 off the main. And I didn't use my react yet. That was the ready up. They're gonna have me up. And then I'm gonna ready back up. And then we're going to Pepper Potts. Pepper Potts will play 2 resources. We're going to put in North Star. I'm going to have him take out the weapons runner. So he'll take 1 damage. Since I got everything cleared down, I probably should flip down because I'm hurting right now. So I'm going to flip back down to Alter Ego. I'm going to activate... I'm going to activate the Pericles again. I'm going to remove the counter. I'm going to give the villain a confused status. And then I'm going to give... We'll just confuse one of them. Now we're done with our Pericles. And we're still alive. Alright, so right there, we got some stuff done. We got the schemes under control. We're down to 0. Yeah, I got banged up a little bit. We got 1 minion off the table. So we'll see how the next turn goes now. So we're gonna ready up. Tony can draw to a hand size of 6. Alright, so we have an energy barrier with pulsar blast, 2 of them. So we can definitely clear out those 2 big bad boys. Then we got piece of tech over here. Remind myself to use my futuristic ability. My futurist ability. Alright, so 1 threat on the main. Claw's not going to activate because he's confused. Whirlwind will scheme onto the main for 1. So this goes up to 2. And then Tiger Shark's going to scheme, but he's confused. We'll get in a counter card. We don't have to worry about it because both advances are in the discard pile. When revealed, spend either energy, mental, physical resources, or exhaust each character you control. I'll just exhaust. I'm not spending that. Alright. So we're exhausted. Fun. Alright. Player's turn. We'll activate Tony's Futurist ability. Drop the top 3 cards. Keep 1, discard the rest. Think we are going to take... Maybe we'll take those. Alright, and then... I don't plan on repurposing, so let's use Pepper Potts as a resource and repurpose. Let's put in Stark Tower. And then we can exhaust Stark Tower to take the topmost tech upgrade in my discard pile to my hand, which would be our Plasma Pistol. Let's see here. Fortunately, we can't heal. So let's do... We'll do 3. And we'll put in a force field generator. This comes into play with 6 counters. Then we'll ready up. We will reactor. And then we can clear that. And then we can play 1 resource for a repulsor blast. We're going to aim it at this tiger shark. So that's going to do 1 damage, and then discard the top 5 cards of our deck. For every energy resource discarded this way, you may put that damage on the enemy. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that's 1 damage, and then 2, 4. So that's 5. Probably should have just attacked him once. You know what? We'll just take him out because I don't want to deal with him with tough. So now Stars got 2. And we already lost our training card. So I'm hoping to get a heal in on him so I can get rid of that 2 damage. Alright. This card pile. That's not my... Did I just throw my whole deck in there? No, I'm not. I decked out. Okay, I think I decked out. No, this was my deck. I screwed up. This is the remaining of my deck. Which because I saw some cards. Alright. So, ready up. So 1 threat goes onto the main. Claw's going to attack. I'm not going to do anything. So he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. So force interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage, remove that many counters from here. So I would have taken 4 damage. So we lose 4 counters. And then, and I forgot to draw my hand. Crap. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So then whirlwind would attack, and then force interrupts. No, so no damage on that. Get on a counter card. Assault. Perfect. Alright, so Claw's going to attack me. I have no choice but to defend with North Star. So Claw's going to attack with 1. Discard a random card from my hand. Lost the boots. And then, yeah. Actually, I could have defended and survived. And then North Star died. Didn't even get to showcase. Alright. Villain turn's done. Start a player turn. I only have 3 cards. Mark Helmet, remove that. Let's do 2 resources, put in our pistol. This comes into play with 3 counters. We're going to exhaust that, remove 1. We're going to do a point of damage onto Whirlwind, that's 3. And then Iron Man's gonna hit him for 1. So that's 4. And then I'm gonna ready up. I'm gonna flip down. I'm gonna recover to 6. We're gonna alter ego action, exhaust Tony Stark, choose a player, myself. That player removes the topmost tech card from their discard pile to their hand. So we get our boots back. And then we'll use Pepper Potts to put in the boots. So we gain 1 hit point. So we're at 7 now. I have a token for that. But it's buried underneath all these other tokens. Oh my gosh. Oh, there it is. I got it. 1 hit point. That was important to me. That was important that I got to do that. Okay, we'll call that a turn. We're gonna ready up. And then 1-2, we ducked out, so we get an encounter card. Shuffle up. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Villain's turn. 1 threat. Claw's gonna scheme for 2, 3, 4. That goes to 5. And then Whirlwind will scheme, putting it to 6. This will push. And now we're at the secret Renoviculus. And when revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play. Engage with the first player and advance to stage 2B. So we're going to discard cards from the encounter deck until we get a minion. Haven't seen a armored guard. There it is. I'm good. I'm good at that. I should go play the lottery today. Alright. Comes in play with tough and guard. So I can't even hit the villain. We are going to get an encounter card. So the first one is business problems. Alright, so you may flip to Alter Ego. Alright, I'm already there. And I can exhaust Tony Stark to remove business problems from the game. Sure, not a problem. And that's gone. See how easy that works? Sonic Boom. I'm already exhausted. Sucks to suck, Claw. Wow, that worked out splendidly. Okay, player turn starts. Alright, so we got Ingenuity, Nightcrawler, cool. There's our protective training. We just need North Star. Let's do... Let's use our gauntlets for 1 resource. Actually... Yeah, let's use the gaunt. No, we don't want to do that. Force field generator, 1, and then barrier for 2. We're going to put in our Ingenuity. Because I'm smart. You just get these little tokens out of the container. So now we can actually make ourselves Ariel, which is nice. So now let's use Stark Tower, topmost tech. Put that in her hand. And then let's do Let's flip the hero. We'll use... We're going to use Pepper Potts as a resource. And then we're going to... We'll use Energy Barrier as a resource to put in our Power Gauntlets. Mental note to myself. I need to buy more ready up. Okay. Lately I've been seeming to go through a lot. That's not it. That's Patrol. Why are they using the same colors? Do you know how confusing that is to a person like me? All right, perfect. So now we got blah 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 blah. Boom. Okay. Now that we got some gauntlets, that's cool. What we're gonna do is we are going to use Ingenuity as a mental resource, and we're going to exhaust our boots so that we can have Aerial. And then we are going to exhaust our Power Gauntlets, and we can do 7. Now that we're Aerial, we can do 2 damage to an enemy. We're going to do 2 damage to Whirlwind, so we can get rid of him. We're going to use our Plasma Pistol to ping the tough off. And then I think what we do is we're going to ready up, and we're going to hit Armor Guard for 1 at least, so we can start working on him. And I think that's good. We'll hold on to Nightcrawler and Protective Training, and we'll ready up. Oh, there's the first aid. There's the Repulsor Blast. There's some tech. That's some. Oh yeah, what's my hand size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 cards. So 3, 4, 5. Supersonic Punch. Okay. It's time to start dropping some hurt bombs. Villain's turn. We got 1 threat on the main. Claw's going to attack. I think we were good enough to take it. We got 7 hit points. So 2 boost cards. So he's hitting me for 1. That's 3. 4. So 5 damage. And it hurts. So I'm down to 2 health. Armor Guard's going to attack. I'm just going to take it. It's only 1 damage. All right, cool. This is it. I could totally just like die right here if he gets an assault. I think all the assaults are gone. I haven't seen that healing thing yet either. That's an advance. That's an assault. No, both assaults are in there, but I don't. Okay, there's the one that does damage. I should be okay. All right, so Claw attacks you. See? If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat onto the main scheme. See, that's what happens when you don't have your X-Men. Gonna defend. So he's attacking me for 2. Yeah, we died. And that's what happens when you don't have your X-Men out. So in theory, if I could have had my little Nightcrawler combo, I would have been okay. But hey, sometimes the cards don't play out like the way that we want it to. But if there's any takeaways, I did technically kind of showcase a little bit how the Pericles can be super clutch when needed. Just I ran out of health points. So that is how it goes sometimes, especially with Claw. But other than that, I hope you liked the video, and I don't know, give this a try. Give me some feedback. Maybe there's something I missed. Maybe there's something that you might have to input in that might make this concept I had better. I honestly, like I said, I was inspired by that one deck build and kind of want to put my own spin out there and throw. I'm just trying to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. But the Pericles does work, and I did do the combo before with the X-Men. It does work. It's just unfortunately I wasn't able to get to show that off in the game. But it happens. But other than that, like I said, if you like the video, give me a like, subscribe. Feedback in the comments is great. Appreciate to everyone who has subbed to me and given awesome feedback to me. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone's having a great day. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.